welcome to my studio. Today, as you can see, I'm gonna be playing with the lucky cat again, just because I love doing it the first time so much. And this time I'm gonna use a Valentine's Day theme. So let's get to it.
Okay, you've probably seen one of these before, and they're okay, but take a closer look with me so maybe you'll understand my need to make them over. These cats have these eyes that just look a little intimidating and weird. So I'm really obsessed with the idea of making them cuter and displaying them all over the place. The first step towards the transformation of my cat, as you know, is covering it all with paint. I use spray paint because I find it easier to get into all the crevices, but I guess you could also use a layer of white gesso. Now that I have painted my cat, I have a nice blank canvas to work on with. But before paint, I want to change that little coin that it's holding in its paw to a heart. So I'm bringing out my foam dough. I found this clay here locally and it's called foam clay, but I also found it in Amazon and it's called foam air dry clay. See the difference? So you can get it anywhere, and it's amazing because it's really stretchy and it dries like foam and it's practically weightless. I've seen a lot of people do mirrors with it around the internet, and this is why, because it adds no weight to the mirror. Okay, so now I've properly introduced you to this wonderful material if you didn't know it yet, and I'm struggling to make a heart. I'm shaping it as best as I can while covering the entirety of the plate, but I cannot get it to look smooth or nice. It's a little, the shape is a little off too, but that's okay. I bring on my tools and I'm trying to smooth it all out and make it look prettier until I'm not trying anymore and I decide it's good as it is and I'm gonna move forward and start painting. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you probably already know or already can tell this is my favorite part. I decided on a color block design for this Valentine's Day inspired cat. So I go ahead and mark a block diagonally with my brush so I can start color blocking my cat. And besides doing that little like triangle shaped pink, I decide to block out the ears with the same color. When I'm doing the back of the cat, I rest my cat facing downwards, and that somehow fixes a lot of my clay problems and nail pinches and everything, so it looks nicer and smoother. Here I am trying to make those ears as symmetrical as I can, and for sure I have to bring my tiny brush to get those details going. I'm checking how the heart is feeling, and since it's better, I decide to do it once more on purpose and get rid of more of those marks that I had before. Now it's the next day because I couldn't finish yesterday, and the heart is dry and I'm ready to add a little bit more color to my cat. The first thing I do is paint that heart because I'm really excited about it being dry. What I'm trying to do here is use my little brush to do the edges so I don't have to correct as much as I do. I'm trying to do it the first time right and then just do it once. Such wisdom. Okay, now that I have my brush loaded with this paint, I'm working on the details of its face. And of course, this little cat has a heart-shaped nose. That was the easy part. Now it's harder to draw in the smile or the snout because it's such a thin line. And I want to try to make it symmetrical, so I go ahead and draw the lines of the exterior and try to follow that line from the sculpture as best as I can. I don't do the best job, so I have to go over it a lot of times until it's thick and not that pretty, but at least I think it looks semi-okay and semi-symmetrical. Onto the eyes, and again, I want to make them symmetrical, so I try to do one eye and then the eyelashes, and then the other and the other eyelashes as similar as I can to the first eye, and they're not symmetrical, not even close. But I think it looks okay, so I'm going to let it be instead of painting over the whole face. And I'm going to continue with my color blocking. I'm mixing the shade of purple that I want. And I'm going to do another triangle shape on the other side of my cap. So I start with the front, which is kind of easy going from the paw, and just then a little bit on the other one on the other side. And for the back, I decide not to risk it and use a little bit of painter's tape for guidance. The first layer I just do roughly with a thicker brush, and then I use my
tiny
brush to get into those little crevices and for the places where the lines join, so I have to do it only once, like I said before. I remove my tape and it doesn't look half bad, so I take my brush and I correct a little bit of the line which wasn't perfect, and then I take a little bit of the same color and make it lighter to paint on the color. And again, I have a normal brush that I'm using for the middle portion of it, but I don't want to have to correct color like I did in my past video, so most of the color is gonna be painted with this very small size 0 brush. And I'm gonna change the angle of the camera so I can show you, because if not, it was only footage of my head, because I do really need to look close for me to be able to paint this with this precision. This needs a second layer of paint, obviously, so I give a second layer to everything in my cat, and then I'm turning this little heart into a conversation heart. My original idea was for it to read "Love is all you need," but after doing it with pencil, I definitely don't like it, so I erase it and then I cover it with paint, and it's like nothing happened. Time to create some details. I want a little heart on its paw, like a little heart tattoo, and I also add little hearts next to its eye. I also add some whiskers for this one, this time with white. I don't want them to be too obvious, but I want them to be there. And I add a little final heart to the back of the bowl. For the bell, I decide again to use my metallic marker, which is harder because of the big felt point, but I know now I can push and move a little bit of that paint with my brush and make it all look neater. I take my red Posca to finish those letters in the conversation heart, and with that my little and beautiful cat is done. A little cleanup of my surface, and here it is. Let me bring that gold cat in so you can see the difference between suspicious and sweet. This is my finished cat. I truly hope you liked this idea. If you did, let me know by liking this video. I hope this gave you ideas for yourself and maybe you would try it. Have a wonderful week and I'll see you next time. Bye!